Tonight we will be heading to the circuit de Barcelona, Catalonia and the desert, aka the Bahrain International Circuit. Alongside me tonight will be VR Liam. Say hello.
Hello, hello. Well, it's the first time I've done anything like this. What about you?
I, well, hopefully you enjoy it. I've done this twice, I think, already, or three times.
So you're a bit of
Not,
a veteran, unlike me then. I'm a
wouldn't
bit new to
call
this and had to
two
be
races
panic.
a veteran, if I'm being honest. Two
More
races.
experience than me.
Well, that is very true. If I'm not mistaken, we have one shot quali here tonight and 25% races. We have 5 esports teams, as I mentioned before. IFR Esports, Ofra FRL Esports, Leonis Esports, CGT, and the VR main drivers.
Yep. So here we go through the one-shot quali. So it's going to be an action-packed one to say the least. We're
Yeah, I
going to have to
mean,
be patient. It's not like the normal quali where you can ride on board with a couple of different people. We're just going to have to wait and see at the end of it who's going to have pole.
yeah, that is very true. I was actually going on board with someone who spawned, I think it was Kazizel. So that's him probably at the bottom of the pack. But right now it's IFR Rowan who's leading the pack. Not leading the pack, but fastest out on track. As I'm going to try to jump over to him. Now going
Yep.
into Sector 3, it's Rowan fastest in the really nice blue car.
Yes, looks quite nice that car, I must say. They've done a good
Yeah,
job with delivery.
in F1 it would be probably a little bit, um, well, basic
Plain.
blue car, yeah. But now coming up to
Yes.
the finish line, will it be Rowan on top? Will it? I think it is. Yes, it is. Nico in second. VR Ivan in third, Devin in fourth, LR Tim in fifth, FRL Ginger in sixth, and I didn't quite catch the rest of the pack, so if you could go through the starting order, that would be great.
I'll go through it in a minute for you. So, as Minty said, Rowan is on pole, Nico P2, Ivan P3, Devon P4, Tim P5, Ginger P6, Stinson P7, Shapalele 8th. Another one of the VER boys whose name I'm not sure how to pronounce because I'm not the best at this thing. The VER boys rounding out the points here. Patrick in 11th, Zach in 8th. Then you've got a couple of the CGT boys in 13th and 14th, Pedro in 15th, another one of the CGT boys in 16th, Ryan 17th, Kazizel 18th. I believe that is one of the LR Leonis Resports boys in 19th, and I've run out of time because I talked too slowly.
Well, you're going to be a little faster next time. But the driver you
You can do it
mentioned,
next time
the
if you like.
VR1, that I cannot pronounce his name either.
We are
Uh,
really good at this, as you can tell. I have no idea how to pronounce people's names.
well, last time out, I remember I did a Bahrain 100% full quali social event.
Okay.
It was very tiring, and I just called him the Williams driver for the full Grand Prix.
We are not the best, as you can tell, but hopefully we can be a bit of fun.
Don't be so negative there. I mean, we can do the job. And now, as we're
We'll
waiting
try
for
our
the
best.
drivers to pick their strategies for the Grand Prix, it's probably going to be a one-stop. It's 25%, nothing special. I mean, if it was 50%, it would be something different, but now onto the formation lap. 17 laps. Quite a long race for 25%, I'd say.
Yeah, but Spain isn't a particularly long track, to be honest with you. It might be a bit of a hassle for most people, but it's not a very long track. It's just awkward.
Yeah, some drivers are actually running the wrong livery. I can
Oh
see
dear.
Nico, I think, in second. Yeah, he's running a base. I think that's the basic livery.
Probably is. I think he'll be in a bit of trouble, maybe.
They won't be too happy there in Leonis Esports, but CGT with a very nice, I mean, color palette. You see from 13th all the way to 16th, the green
Yeah.
car as well. The other teams
Yes.
quite basic, just white and shades of dark colors, black, navy.
Yeah, the green certainly pops on the formation lap, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, great advertising.
Yeah. I don't know, maybe if the liveries were slightly bit different from each one of them. A lot of them have just run the same livery, just
I
different colours.
mean, to be fair, such as the VR lads, they have a mostly yellow car, but the graphics show it up as a black car,
Because the
which
primary
doesn't
colour is
help.
black. Because the
Yeah,
primary colour will be black.
they really have to fix that, in my opinion. I think you should be able to decide the color.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as they line up onto the grid, I'll just check what tires people are running on because I completely forgot to check that. Stinson is no, yeah, Stinson is on the mediums. Zach is on the mediums. Belandia is on the mediums. Pedro is on the mediums. Ryan, Kazizel, and Miku are also on the medium tires, while the rest of the grid is on the soft side. Doubt we'll be seeing any hard running tonight. But now, as 3, 4, 5 red lights out and away we go. It's Rowan with not the best start. LR Nico losing the traction a little as there's some carnage in the background. That was a CGT driver putting it into the wall. Rowan now taking the
Two
lead into
CGT
turn
drivers
1.
collided off the start, it looks like. Going back to what you're saying.
Yeah, that was not the best
Porco
start
and
for the
Pedro.
CGT team as there's front wings flying everywhere.
Oh,
There was someone going
someone's off at turn 3. Someone's going very wide.
very chaotic here at the start of the Spanish round. I mean, still no retirees, which is quite nice to see. But a lot of these drivers jumbled up together, going side by side now through the second sector, very technical sector. So, yeah, they're now letting each other pass.
Yeah, it's a very technical section, Sector 2 and Sector 3 at Barcelona, compared to the very open and fast first sector. As we've got one of Kazizel up the inside of Stinson. Ryan sending it round the outside of him now. Oh, there's a bit of contact, but Ryan gets the move done around the outside.
Yeah, great move from Ryan, and he held it pretty well through there. There was a little bit of contact between the two drivers. As, yeah, there's this scoreboard, or leaderboard glitch, which isn't nice.
There's
But
plenty
it
of
has
glitches on
fixed
the game.
itself. Yeah, that is
Yeah.
very true. Now seeing who is close, not the best track to follow others around, but I think that's CGT Rully. I think that's his name, yes it is. He's pretty close to the back of LR Patrick, so we could see some overtaking here.
I'm going to bring this up quickly. Are you also being hit by the glitch with the position counter?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
But now
Just curious.
Rully's going side by side with Patrick. He has to he has to step down from that fight because it was pretty dangerous that. But now Ryan's down the inside of the CGT driver, but they make contact and Ryan lets him past.
Yeah, Ryan playing it a bit safe there, knowing the guy in front has got a penalty, so that could come into effect later in the race. As the CGT really is struggling a bit on the back end through the last chicane here. So Ryan could be lining up and moving to turn 1, but not looking likely with the DR without the gap not being close enough.
Yeah, I mean also no DRS doesn't help. We just started lap 3, which means the drivers will have DRS on the next DRS straight and for future laps. So yeah, now, I mean, no real close battling right now, it's just plenty of DRS trains forming.
Yep. Well, what did you expect from a track like Barcelona? It's not the best for overtaking in real life, That's not best on the F1 games, it's just the DRS train central.
Yeah, you're not wrong. And yeah, the closest man I see here is LR Tim, who's 2 tenths behind Nico, but can't really do anything. Rowan is doing a marvellous job from his pole position start, 1.8 seconds ahead of the VAR driver Ivan. So that might be the win secured for him pretty early on in the race, but anything can happen.
Very true, but Rowan taking a commanding lead already, 2 seconds clear of the drivers behind, as the two VER boys are almost nose to tail right now. So things could get scrappy between them. It'll allow Rowan to pull even further away, and maybe Ginger can capitalise behind.
Yeah, there might be a little bit of team orders, as it is pretty important for these esports teams. Of course, 4 rounds of this. It's going to be Spain and Bahrain this week, or today, and then next week there's going to be a further 2 rounds. So I think consistency is going to be pretty important.
Yeah, consistency, well, is pretty important most of the time when you're racing, but it's definitely going to play an even bigger factor now with all these esports teams fighting for it at the moment. So it's really going to be who can bring home the most points. So having a look at the running order just now, going to be close between the Leonis boys, I think, and the VTR boys. As one of the VER drivers is very aggressive coming into the pits, cutting off one of the IFR drivers almost.
Yeah, now Ryan, he's going for a move on rolling into turn 1. He's on the medium conv tires, so the softs are slowly dying. Still going side by side, but he just can't make the move stick. And Rully is in 8th position. I mean, some drivers coming into the pits, it was our leader from the previous lap, Rowan, he came in. So that's him onto the medium conv tires.
Rowan going for the undercut. So the two VAR boys in Ivan and Devin leading the way here. Ivan just pulling away just a little bit to around 7/10 now. These guys have got Ginger and Tim sitting close behind, so they can't really be too relaxed.
Yeah, they really can't. I mean, these drivers are separated by most of these drivers by less than a second, so yeah, now nearly everyone's coming into the pits apart from Tim, so he'll be staying out trying to go for an overcut strategy on them. He will have clear air for next lap, so he'll try to probably set the fastest lap time he can and pit in pretty soon, I'd imagine.
Yep, we're just got to keep an eye on where Ivan and Devin come out now, and where Rowan is compared to them. So on the exit of the pit, it looks like Rowan's gained a second almost, to a second and a half from the undercut on the VAR boys. So he's just storming away even further now.
Yeah, I mean, great strategy from him, as behind there is Nico and Ivan battling it out for 11th position. Oh no, sorry, that was Devin.
And that P2 they're fighting for. And Nico is on the back of Devin here, so maybe he can get a move done into the hairpin at the end of sector 2.
I think he'll be a little bit too far away, especially with Devin having DRS on Ivan.
Yeah, the understeer through that fast right-hander will definitely play a part in the time law.
Yeah, now Tim is in the pits, so we're gonna see where he comes out. I mean, if the overcut works, which I don't think it will around this track. Very technical track.
Spain is a very undercut, powerful circuit. Most circuits in the game are very powerful with the undercut.
Now Tim, he's coming out right in the middle of the pack. Where will it be? I think he'll be going side by side with someone. Yes, he is, and he slots in 11th place with Ginger right at the back of him, and he could make the move on him. But Tim is also gonna try to go for a move on the VR driver.
Yeah, Tim not quite close enough there. Nico slowly dropping back from Devon and Ivan at the moment. They're still just dropping further and further behind Rowan in front. He's
Yes,
got
Tim, he
all
already.
the clean air in the world right now to just push on and take home the win.
Yeah, Tim now, he lost 2 positions there. As he was on cold tyres, he couldn't really fight back to Hid and to Ginger, but now he's going to go for the absolute dive bomb on Hid, but it doesn't work out for the Leonis driver. And he did a half spin, and I mean, he's 1.5 seconds behind the 12th position now.
Yeah, a bit unlucky there to make contact, but I'm sure he'll gain back up the time. He'll gain the time back now as Devon's setting the fastest lap of the race now, sending a warning to his fellow VAR driver in front that I'm not going to be the slower driver here. I'm going to run you right to the end of the race.
That's very true. As Ivan, he said, I think he's trying to break the slipstream there, so his teammate doesn't get it. So some teammate rivalry building there already.
We'll see. I think everything will be fine after the race. Just take the moment stuff.
Yeah, I imagine that, as Ivan, he'll probably be pushing now, trying to get a fastest lap away from his teammate. But at the end of the day, it's still 1 point for VER.
It certainly is. So these guys aren't going to really want to fight too much. Well, especially when they've got Nico in behind as well. Who's very much ready to take and pick up the pieces of anything that goes on with these two.
Yeah, it's now the first medium runner pits in. Ryan goes in, and he's going onto the soft come of tyres as Rowan takes the fastest lap away from the VER team. He sets a 1 minute 16.8.
Yep, Rowan just showing that he's absolutely the fastest driver out on track right now, and nothing's going to get in his way right now. As looking back at the battle that's going on between Devon, Ivan and Nico, there's not much going on, but Ivan is definitely taking all sorts of different lines compared to Devon behind to try and break that slipstream.
Yeah, he has to do it. I mean, he wants to keep in his position as Ginger picks up a 3 second time penalty. But yes, they are in the team. If they do swap positions, the team still gets the same amount. But it's about to show who the better driver is for the team.
Yeah, it's all a matter of pride for these guys. They're not gonna take it lying down at the moment.
Yeah, I mean,
Devon's still struggling to get within to get close enough to make a move on his teammate.
yeah, the dirty air is definitely not helping him, and hopefully in the new regulations that will help cars overtake, especially around tracks like these. But just wanted to mention the CGT drivers, they aren't looking great today.
Yeah, certainly a night to forget for the CGT drivers.
Well, there is still one race after this, so they could truly bounce back, but
They could have put all their practice in for Bahrain and just forgot about Spain, because I don't think many people really like this track compared to Bahrain. Bahrain's quite a favourite for quite a lot of people.
yeah, and of course some drivers, if I'm not mistaken, they'll actually be switching between Barcelona and
have a few
Bahrain.
new drivers coming in for Bahrain.
Yeah, so it shows that it either shows that some people are maybe better at Bahrain, that it's their favourite track, or else it means that Barcelona is just not a favourite for everyone.
Could just be down to personal occupations that are keeping them from racing at both tracks tonight. So going to be a shame we don't keep all of the drivers who are in the race at Spain, but it'll be interesting to throw a couple of new drivers in for one race, see how they get on, how they can spice things up.
Yeah, that's true. As now Ryan, he takes the fastest lap away from Rowan. Is still in the IFR team. So yeah, now the softs, people on the soft tyres now, they'll be taking the fastest laps away, and they could really push through the field now.
Yeah, I'm expecting to see quite a few of the soft drivers start picking up places here and there, especially towards the end of the points. Try and pick up as many possible for their team. I'm just going to keeping an eye on the battle that's the battle that could potentially unfold between Devin and Nico. As somebody spun going through the hairpin there, I'm not sure who.
That was Pedro. He is dead last. He's getting lapped by these drivers, and a race to forget for Pedro.
Yep, as the another CGT driver's in the wall, this time on the exit of the fast right-hander. So I'm not sure what's going on there. Must have had quite the hell of a snap of oversteer coming out of that corner. And just pile drived it into the wall.
Yeah, that could be the case. As now Ginger, he's getting right close to the VAR driver, but he has spun at the exit of turn 2, and he actually took someone out wide onto the gravel. I'm not sure who that was. It might have been either Kazizel or Hid, because I recognise it was a black and yellow car, but the problem is there's a team running with black and yellow, and then there's two drivers, Ginger and Kazizel, running an alternative livery. So not too sure who that was on the gravel, but one of them were put out wide because of the fact that Ginger, he just tried to get the switch back on VR Ward. I'm just going to call him that. And it just didn't work out for him.
Yeah, we're not the best with pronunciations, as you can tell. So we're just coming up with it as we go along with the names.
Well, I think we're pretty decent at most of them, apart from
the odd couple here and there.
Yeah.
But we'll slowly get the hang of it as time goes on, I think.
That's Kazizel. He says the fastest lap time.
2 attempts there of his teammate into turn 1. The battle between the VAR teammates is slowly heating up here. And Road is gaining onto the back of Nico here.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, he's probably getting held back by the train here from second place of Ivan. I'm not sure. Maybe Devin, he's acting as a wingman or something for the for Ivan right now. He looks to be the faster driver. He can't make the overtake out on track right now, but is a buffer for Nico, because if they do, if Nico does decide to overtake Devin, if he's fast enough, that's still second and fourth for the VAR team.
Well, and fifth as well. So at the moment they're running second, third, fifth, and ninth. So good points haul for the VAR boys. A decent points haul as well for the IFR boys, as well as a couple of the Leonis boys are bringing home a decent amount of points. As Ryan's going around the outside of Tim into turn 1, and he got the move done just before the braking zone.
He couldn't quite catch that on the broadcast, sadly, but just wanted to mention that a lot of these drivers are actually pretty high on ERS. When I say high, I mean they aren't low, because many times in league racing we do see these drivers being at around 10%. But for example, Ivan, he's in second position, commanding the train here, and he still has 50% ERS in his car.
Yeah, well, considering Spain has a lot of heavy braking zones, it is quite easy. As Chapelele is out of the race, I'm not quite sure what's happened there. I think he's hit the wall on the exit of the left-hander going up the hill.
Yes, he did.
So, a
Shame for
DNF for one of the
Chapelele.
FRL boys this evening. As Rowan continues to just cruise his way towards the finish, as Devin is trying to hold off Nico still. He's using the slipstream and DRS of his teammate to just keep Nico behind him.
Yeah, I mean, it is working for the team, and I imagine they do have a party with them, as Cazizzel and Tim they are going side by side right now. Cazizzel on an absolute charge. He is on the brand new softs. He's pushing him out wide up until the curb. Well, now he has the inside for the next corner. They're still going side by side. Some great fighting between the two of them. Both of them using overtake mode. I think that's Cazizzel in front. Yes, it is, and the grip of the softs just being superior.
Yep, the softs show, well, I'm just showing off how much more grip he has on those soft tyres, but I don't imagine them lasting. Well, he's only on 3 lap holds, so his should be fine, unlike Ryan ahead of him, who's on 5 lap holds, so his tyres should be going. Hitting the edge right about now and starting to degrade.
Yeah, and also his 3-second time penalty is not helping. And IFR, I mean, they have one driver? No, 2 drivers in the top 10, I want to say. Sorry if I'm mistaken. And yeah, one of them will be dropping down positions, probably down to, I want to say, 9th position. So
yeah, I'd say around about 9th as well.
1st and 9th isn't the best. 27 points?
Yep. Plus fastest laps are 28 points.
I'm actually gonna check who has the fastest lap, as I forgot. Yeah, it is Cazizzel. It's Cazizzel. So.
Well, last time I checked, it was Ryan. So Cazizzel showing he is the fastest out on track at the moment. Nico's still slugging away behind the VER boys in 2nd and 3rd for that last spot on the podium. And it's slowly allowing Ryan to come onto the back of this train now.
And now just checking Nico, he's getting real close to VR driver Devin, and he could be looking for a move on him pretty soon. I mean, it is the final lap of the Grand Prix, so he has to do it very soon.
Now on the final lap,
yeah, as now LR Tim and Cazizzel are going side by side. Cazizzel, he goes onto the runoff area and he nearly loses control of his car, and now Tim, he's going to go around the outside, I think, of Cazizzel. No, he won't. He takes he settled behind him.
Well, I don't think Tim really has to get past at this point. He knows he's going to get the position on penalties, so there's not really any point in sending it, as Nico's about 2.5 times back. So he's wanting the position, he's going to have to send it, which he isn't. Still not sent it on Devin on the final lap, so unless there's any sort of major mistakes here from the VAR boy in front, he's going to hold on to the 3rd position and Nico's going to come home 4th.
Oh, as he did look for a dive up into the chicane, but it didn't quite work, too tight there. And that's Nico. He could even lose a position to VR driver. No, he doesn't. Luckily for him, he keeps 4th, as he did lose traction, but it is Rowan, IFR driver, winning the round 1 Spanish Grand Prix. Ivan in 2nd, Devin in 3rd, LR Nico in 4th. Roard in 5th, Tim in 6th, Hid in 7th, Ryan in 8th, Zach in 9th, Cazizzel in 10th, Patrick in 11th, Stinson in 12th, Ginger in 13th, Miku in 14th, and the first CGT driver, not looking the best for them, down in 15th, Belandia, then Riss in 16th, then 2 more CGT drivers, Rully and Pedro, And then Hefrel, Chapelele, and Goody are your non-finishers. So, what did you make of the first round?
Had a few good moves going on from some of the guys at the lower end of the points, but not much action from the guys running the field at the front. So, but plenty of action near the back. So hopefully in Bahrain we can have a bit more moves, a few more moves going on between the top drivers, just to get some more action at the front maybe. But other than that, it was a good race.
Yeah, I wish there was a little bit more overtaking. I wouldn't have mind that. I mean, there was some attempts, but nothing really worked, as I think it is
A
an
lot of people
all-Dutch
were,
podium.
yeah, a lot of people were quite cautious that round. Well, during the race, so
Yeah, I mean, I
not much
don't
going
blame
on.
them.
Especially with so much on the line, I don't blame them for being cautious. So, but
Yeah,
there are your final results. So we are moving on to Bahrain. So we're going from the Spanish sunshine to the twilight of the desert.
yeah, I just wanted to mention Ryan. He moved up 9 positions that race from 17 to 8th, so well done to him. Great race. Going on to the alternative strategy from the mediums to softs, and if not that penalty, he could have been up in 6th.
Yeah, solid race from him. So on to Bahrain we must go.
Yeah, so who do you think will win the Bahrain Grand Prix, or else what team is looking good going into that round?
The team well on the team's front. I'd say the VAR boys look the most competitive as a whole team, but for one driver, I'm expecting Rowan to be up there at the front again, probably.
Yeah, I think we could see something from potentially Kazizel, or just looking for his name. Um, I completely went blank. Sorry about that.
It's okay, we all do it at the best of times.
So yeah, now one shot quality yet again, and just some facts about the circuit as we wait for the drivers to ready up.
Oh, oh, how lovely! The facts are back with Minty.
Yes, they always were here, but we started the stream during one shot quality, so I couldn't really go over them. I mean, 5.4 kilometer circuit, 3.3 miles. Then the mediums are 0.5 seconds slower than the softs, and the hards are only 0.8 slower than the softs. So the hards might be a viable option if you were to pit on lap 1.
Yeah, the hards during 25% races are basically the last result for chaos in the first few laps, basically.
Yeah, I mean, I'd probably try to opt for the mediums if I'm being honest on lap 1. Just try to take them the whole way.
Yeah, doubt you'd get the mediums that far. Bahrain is quite a high tower circuit.
Yeah, as now we're seeing some changes. As I was about to say Ryan, I was furiously looking for him in the actual standings, but he left for another driver, and that's why my mind went blank.
Yeah, everybody, we're just getting a few driver changes from the teams now.
Yeah, now
So,
we see Snipes and Jules, they're coming in for as replacements. Gonna have to check for you. I think Jules is going in for hit, while IFR Snipes, he went in for Ryan, and there is supposed to be another driver going in for IFR, if I'm not mistaken.
we shall find out soon.
So Bjorn is also in the lobby as, yeah, that's 20 drivers. And he is in for the FRL team.
I'm just waiting. We
Or,
should be getting back underway shortly.
yeah, sorry, Bjorn is for the LR team, just color palettes are messing with me.
Yes. We were a bit confused by the colour palettes to begin with. In fact, we were very confused to begin with. Not just by the colour palettes, by everything. Weren't we?
No, I wins. Maybe you were.
Yeah, first time I've done this, I'm allowed to be a bit confused, I think.
It's a, it's very different to league racing.
Yeah, it's very different to commentating on a league race, which I'm used to.
Yeah,
First time
50%
ever.
race, a little bit more boring, I'd say, because the gaps are usually a few seconds between the drivers and shirt quality, so you can just have a chat. Well, here
I
it's
suppose.
just non-stop action. We do have safety cars off, so that's another opportunity to have a chat. Well, disabled.
Yeah, which is annoying. You'd think you'd have the safety car on just to avoid the chaos, but fair enough. If these guys are wanting it off and think
Well,
they can get on without it, they don't. They can avoid the chaos. Then fair play to them.
yeah, I think it's a good thing that the safety car is off, as these team races are more about the pace of the driver, while league racing is more, if you want to call it, like realistic.
Consistency.
Yeah, consistency. But you still gotta
League
be
racing.
fast, but
You still got to be consistent, but
yeah, the
with
calendars
this,
are way
but
longer.
with this, it's more about your speed over the whole race rather than being consistent, because the races are much shorter. So
Yeah, and there's only 4 rounds in this spring event. All
yep.
25%, so technically you're doing one 100% race over the course of 2 weeks.
Which is unusual. I suppose it's better having to do well, a 100% race over 2 weeks than having to do this a couple of 50% races over 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's probably way more interesting having this format. I would definitely not want to see it in league racing though. I
No,
think
league
this
racing's
format
fine.
is in F1 esports.
I don't
Correct
know.
me if I'm wrong.
I haven't watched much of the F1 esports recently, but I have been trying to catch up with some of the F1 esports guys who've been taking on the Formula E challenge. Though
I see you're into Formula E.
might be.
Yeah, I couldn't really catch a grip to it.
I watched it quite a bit. It was actually quite good because it's much smaller racetracks, so the cars are closer together, but they're actually able to follow and make moves and all that. In such a small circuit, it's like Monaco every week, but the cars can actually overtake. As we are now into quali now for Bahrain, so let us see how this goes.
Yeah, no, because Izzle, he is first in the turn one, but he loses all those positions, but he is back up on the traction. He's in the same position as Rowan is in first, so a new IFR driver here to us tonight, as IFR doing a 1-2-3 right now with Rowan, and Stinson, but Stinson, he drops off a little. And it is going to get
And now
confusing, two
Kizizel picking
Rowans.
it back up P1, and now Rowan back.
Yeah, because he is trundling behind in second. He looks like he gains a lot of time back in the traction zones. But Rowan, uh, he just pops out of nowhere, really. if I'm being honest. Sometimes I see him up here, sometimes I don't, but the other Rowan, whatever you want to call him, he has
And
been on provisional pole position for the entire time.
it's a 1-2-3 again for the IFR boys.
As Rowan takes pole position from Rowan for now,
And Rowan is back in front. On the
I
run
think
up
that
to the
will be
line.
Rowan on pole position for the race. Barely anything separating the IFR drivers, and it's 1-2-3 for them.
Spectacular performance from the IFR boys there in qualifying. Let's see how they stack up in the race. So, will you run us through the standings? There's quite a lot of people disqualified.
Yeah, right at the very end. I mean, an all Dutch top 6, IFR with the top 3, less than 1/10 separating them. Tim in 4th, Ginger in 5th, Devin in 6th, Chapelele in 7th, Ivan in 8th, Snipes in 9th, LR Patrick in 10th, Nico in 11th, Jules in 12th, Miku in 13th, Rord in 14th, Rully in 15th. 16th is CGT Belandia, 17th Bjorn, Pedro in 18th, 19th I think it was Kazizel. And I'm just gonna have to check up on 20th as I read it too slow just like you.
Yeah, it goes by quite quickly, that menu. You think
Yes,
you have more time, but you really don't.
yeah, especially when you're trying to go through a full grid.
Exactly.
I think it was Kazizel last. So yeah, not the best showing from CGT yet again, and the VR not living up to their round 1 expectations, but on the other hand, the IFR, they did a great job getting Rowan in for race number 2.
Yeah, what the IFR boys looking very strong in Bahrain compared to Catalonia. So I was expecting there to be more. I was expecting Bahrain to be more open between the top guys. So it looks like it's come true a bit. The last attempt at separating the top three. So we'll see how it plays out in the race. So whereas the CGT boys aren't doing that well again. So just struggling a little bit maybe.
Yeah, 20th, 18th, 16th, 15th. In the green cars, not doing the best job so far. IFR, as we mentioned before, if Snipes did a little bit of a better job, it could have been a 1-2-3-4 for the team.
Oh well, can't be that perfect all the time. Snipes is just gonna have to try and force his way through the field to make it a 1-2-3-4.
Yes, now formation up. I'm just gonna quickly run through the tires. Top 10 on the softs. Well, Nico on the mediums, Jules mediums, Miku and Ward all on the medium tires. Rully and Belandia, they are on the soft tires as they have quite a gap to cars ahead. I think they are just trying to make their tires, well, get cold while they are standing on the
Yeah,
grid. And
this
Kazizul,
is something that I've openly complained about before when commentating on league races. Is when people do this on the formation lap, they deliberately slow down just to make sure the front runners have very cold tires.
yeah, quite unfair I'd say. Kazizul and Guti, also on the medium tires, but now, as we see here, Rowan, he's already parking up, while someone like Guti, he isn't even past the last corner.
He's just coming through the last corner now. As now the AI is now going to take over.
Yeah, I mean, you could even put tire blankets on the IFR car. You'd have enough time and put them back off.
Probably would.
As
As
now,
Guti is now lined up on the grid.
He is now waiting
So
for
Rowan
the.
is going to take us off from pole. So as the 5 red lights are out, and it's lights out and away we go in Bahrain. Rowan getting a decent start compared to Rowan and Stinson. We're almost trying to go around the outside of Rowan here, so but he's got to hold firm in third position. So IFR boys holding on tight, nicely to that top 3 as a little bit of a cluster forming near the back and the tail end of the points here, as a lot of people are scrapping for position.
Yeah, CGT
And
with
look
an
at
amazing
CGT
start.
boys, they've shot right up the grid, so they've had quite the start. So they must have had a few dive bombs on the start line, surely.
Yeah, so Kazizel, he's trying to make his way through the CGT boys, and Belanda, he could be losing even more positions here going into turn 8, I want to say. Jules, he gets in front of him, as Roard, he also gets in front of him. So very unfortunate for Belantia. His strategy of waiting for everyone on the formation lap didn't really work out, as he's losing even more positions now to Miku.
I believe it was Guti that was waiting on everyone. He started P20.
I mean, the CGT drivers, they were all waiting, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think this was a sneaky strategy on their part to give everyone else cold tires compared to them.
Yeah, and I mean, IFR, I think there is some team orders there, as they have ended lap 1 in the same exact positions they started it on.
Yep. As
And
the
they were,
auto glitch is back.
yeah, that's very true. They were very clean going into turn 1, I must say.
Yes, everyone's been well behaved so far.
There was a little bit of spinning in the back, I think, as there is 3 drivers in the pits. Well, 4. Pedro back in the pits, he also was there on lap 1 if I'm not mistaken. Belandia in the pits, Patrick and Bjorn in the pits, so Leonis and CGT with not the best starts to their races.
Well, only half the CGT boys having a badish start. The other 2 are doing quite well on 10th and 13th at the moment.
Yeah, FRL now, they're up to...
Yellow flag, somebody... Pedro's out of the race. And it looks like the exit of turn 2. I'm
Yeah,
not sure what's happened then.
I'd say cold tires.
Probably.
Very
Tried to put down
unpredictable,
too soon.
and yeah, he just spun it on the exit, I'd say. Well, wanted to mention FRL.
Devon's all over the back of Tim here, going through the last corner. Overtake mode engaged on the run to the first corner. Let's see Willie make the move on
No.
the Leonis Racing driver. And he's got to line it up, but he's not close enough to make the move into turn 1 as Tim's got the slipstream off of Chapelele in front of him.
Yeah, I'd say Tim, he had a little bit less front wings. Well, he had lower front wing settings, but now Devin, he's going round the outside of Tim, but now he got a 3-second time penalty for exceeding track limit,
I
which
think he might get that removed because Tim squeezed him out quite
Yeah.
aggressively there.
it was a turn for as Ivan now. He made the move on Tim, so that's a double overtake for VAR. And the Leonis are going down the pecking order, down into 8th. I just wanted to mention that that turn for apparently exceeding track limits there is legal now.
Yeah, I've seen quite a lot in pre-season testing. The F1 drivers have been going quite wide there.
Yeah, I saw a tweet today that cleared it up and said that the FIA has ruled that it is legal from now on to go wide there. And
So well, maybe leagues will be allowing you to track extend there a bit, maybe.
yeah, I think it would have to just be implemented to the game, really. As now drivers are in the pits.
Chapelele's in the pits. As
So
well
is
as
Devin. Now IFR, look how close they are to each other. Rowan, and Stinson. I mean, if I was them, I'd just be saving Yaris right now, just cruising as they have a 1.3 second gap to a car behind them, and a further 2.4 to the next car.
Yeah, these guys have just been absolutely dominant so far in Bahrain. Rowan showing in Spain how quick he is, so they've brought in the big guns, it looks like, for Bahrain, and now three of them are just storming away while poor old Snipes is down in 12.
Yeah, I mean, Snipes,
Fighting
he
away
did
at
just
Nico.
get an overtake on Nico going into turn 4, so fair play to him. He's looking to fight back here, try to get some extra points for the IFR team, but I think they'll be looking on top
Here
after
goes
today,
Snipes up the inside of Nico
and
into what is
that's...
turn 11, I believe. But Miku is going to try and fight back around the outside, but squeezed a little bit, and he's going to have to settle there. But will he get back past him and start finish straight? That's going to be something to keep an eye out for. Meanwhile, the IFR boys, all within a second of each other, are still not making any overtakes on each other.
Yeah, no,
But
just looking at them, and
Kazizal is going around the outside of Rully F1 into turn 1. Here he goes. He's going to brake early, try the cutback, but really just stopping in front of him, it looks like.
I mean, really, it worked for Rully there, and Kazizal was very lucky not to take any front wing damage. And
I think that
IFR,
could be one for the stewards, maybe, because it looked like he just stopped right in front of him.
I mean, it isn't technically illegal. I don't think it is, at least. No, 9 seconds to the leaders, and I think that's a job done for IFR. Don't even think Snipes will need to do anything this race, but extra points, I mean, it will be helpful for the team.
Oh yeah, definitely going to be helpful for the team, but it would be nice to see it. Snipes get up into that P4, then it could be the clean sweep for them.
Yeah, now, looking at Kazizul, he's getting close to CGT Rully yet again, as Rully track extends there a little. He already has a 3-second time penalty, so he has to be careful. And Kazizul, I think he will be able to go for a move here into the next corner, into turn 1. And he has the move complete pretty soon, I imagine. Yes, he has.
There. Was close enough going down the straight, but really he's going to send it back up the inside. He is not giving in, the CGT driver. He's going to keep on fighting, but surely Kazizal's going to try and send it again into turn 4.
He goes for the switchback, and it works like wonder. Kazizal now in first position, not too sure what position that will be at the end of the race. As that, oh no, disaster for the IFR team, that's Rowan spinning.
Oh no, what looked like a rather comfortable race for them all turned, well, it's going slightly worse as one of them has spun. But the
Yeah,
other two are still going.
IFR, they all did a coordinated pit stop. They all went in at the same lap, and yeah, Rowan just, that could have been a 1-2-3 for IFR, but now it's 1-2 provisionally, and then 15-16, but now CGT, who is that? That's Rully. He went really wide there, and now he's just behind his teammate. His tyres are too hot right now, I imagine, and he is spinning everywhere, going into the wall, and he has to pitch in now with front wing damage.
Yeah, from what I've seen was really earlier, he's not wanting to give up easily, so he was probably going to try and send it at every opportunity, so he's living on the edge, it looks like, as Rowan is clear of absolutely everybody again. He's only got a few of the medium, two guys who started on mediums ahead of him.
Yeah, so there's battling in the top half. Chapelele, Stinson, and Ivan here. Ivan looking for a move on Stinson, but he showed himself in the mirrors. He was too far away for the move though. Stinson, He was going side by side with Chapelele into turn one. It just didn't really work out for the IFR driver, as now that's Ivan down the inside of him. And will it be job done? No, it isn't. He has to stay back in 7th place, while Stinson takes back 6th.
And Stinson all over the back of Chapelele as well. He's not going for the overtake, it looks like. Or is he? He's he's looking for it, but he had a look, but he's not quite close enough. So he's going to try and maybe get it done with this right-hander if he's brave enough. But he will think better of it, and he's going to wait for the start-finish straight when he has DRS.
Yeah, but now he is going down the inside as who's that? Chapelele. He
Braking
does
to get the DRS.
a great strategy from him. I mean, I did that back in my league racing days.
I mean, it's not turned out too well for him, as here comes Ivan now around the outside of Chapelele. So, maybe he shouldn't have braked, and maybe should have just lifted off a little bit. Or maybe done it a little bit earlier down the straight, and he would have got DRS, but it certainly cost him, as now Devon is up the inside of him. It's cost him 2 positions. That one cheeky little manoeuvre from Chapelele has cost him 2 positions now.
Yeah, technically 3, and now Tim, he's right at the back of Chapelele, and he's down the inside of the German driver. Chapelele goes wide, and that's him up into 8th position. Chapelele down 4 positions as there's yellow flags for Miku, the FRL driver. And yeah, Chapelele. It looked like a strategic master plan, but it didn't work out.
Maybe it might have worked out if he slowed down a little bit earlier down the straight, and it wouldn't have ruined his momentum coming on in the final corner. Although that would have made much difference considering how close Ivan was behind him.
Yeah, now going back up to the top, it's Rowan. He's trying to get slipstream on Goody Throw 2. And will he be able to make the move? He does a little bit of weaving there, tries to go down the inside. He thinks better of it, moving way too tight for him. And now the CGT driver loses a little bit of traction. Rowan now, he'll be going for the racing line around the outside of Guti. They're still going side by side as Guti, he tries to shove him off wide as there's a ding-dong battle between them. 3-second time penalty for Rowan for exceeding track limits. I imagine that will be removed afterwards, as now Guti, he's getting very aggressive, going for the dive bomb on Rowan, and it just doesn't work out for him. And
yeah,
Rowan, he stays.
I think something's going to be said about the CGT drivers tonight, especially here in Bahrain. They've been far too aggressive on certain people, forcing Rowan off the track at times. And just making silly overtakes at times, so I think something's going to have to be said to them.
They'll definitely have to be a little bit more careful. Well,
Ginger gaining on him now. How aggressively he moves on the track to break the slipstream.
I
Costing himself more and more
it
time.
is legal, but if it's excessive, you can't really do it.
That might have been the problem. Nope. Faking the pit stop there. He's just weaving all over the place. That's not moving to break the slipstream, that's just weaving them the straight.
Yeah, and that is slowing down Ginger, and he'll be in the grasp of Stinson now. As Guti and Ginger, they are going side by side for 2nd position. Ginger makes the move, and Stinson, I think Rowan told him about his. I think Rowan told him about his shenanigans earlier on, and he'll be a little bit careful going down the inside of CGT Guti as they make a little bit of contact. And now VR Ivan, he's getting close to the back of the CGT driver. Will he be able to make a move? As there's yellow flags, that is for a CGT driver.
Has spun coming out turn 2 and turn 3.
Yeah, no.
Turn 2, 3.
Ivan, he goes down the inside of Guti.
Guti now being forced off the track by Ivan, getting a little bit of a taste of his own medicine, maybe. Being forced off the track. I don't think
Yeah,
you're too happy with it.
Alonso would call it karma. And yeah, now Tim, he's catching up to the back of Devin, so we could see a potential battle here. But Kazizel, he is right at the back of Jules. And we could see a pretty easy overtake here for 8th position in the race. He goes for it, he's down the inside, and I think Jules will just let him go. Yes, he does. Or will he stick around the outside? No, he tries to go for a switchback, doesn't quite work out.
In the back end now. Here comes Devin up the inside of Guti. Into turn 4. What's Guti going to do about it? We're trying to go for the switchback, but he's just not got enough grip. Maybe he's going to try and send it into the hairpin at the bottom of this hill now.
I think he's a little bit too far away for that, unless it was on Rowan. As Tim, he's right at the back of him. He was pushing him through that corner.
Tim's going to go up the inside, down the hill, into turn 10. He's got the move done. What a move from Tim there. Not your most conventional overtaking spot, but fair play for getting the move done.
Yeah,
Guti's
great
dropping
overtake.
further and further back on dead tires. Because this will be the next to line him up, probably.
He's just locked up going into turn 13, and now Kazizel, he'll try to go for an overtake unless Guti does decide to stop. I believe he did do a pit stop. No, he hasn't. So will he make his dummy? I'm not too sure.
Well, dummied again.
Not sure what he's trying to make with those dummies, as I mean, no one's going into the pits anytime soon, as he locks up both tires, and that leaves Jules an opportunity to go around down the inside of Kazizel and down the inside of the CGT driver. Now they're going 3 wide.
Gets a little tap from what must have been Kazizel there.
Yeah, it was, and now Word, he goes up 2 positions here at turn 4. Kazizel now
up the inside into the hairpin of Jules.
Oh
my god, Guti just absolutely wipes him out. Not sure what that is supposed to be there. Honestly, I'm not even sure why he's been allowed. I don't think he'll even be allowed to race in one of these events again after that.
Yeah, I don't think CGT will be very happy by that. I mean, he just torpedoed him into turn 8, and yeah, he did get. There was a little bit of contact between Ward and Guti, but Guti, I mean, he's kinda started the war earlier on in the race.
Yeah, I think, well, it was a little bit of contact between him and Kazizel when they went 3 wide with, I believe it was Jules into turn 4.
Yeah.
He made a little bit of contact with his left front, but other than that, not really much else.
And now Ginger and Stinson, they were battling it out. Stinson got into 2nd position at turn 1, and will Ginger be able to fight back here on this lap? I don't think he will. We are on the penultimate lap of the Bahrain Grand Prix, and we've had a little bit of controversy, to say the least.
I would say more than a little bit of controversy, as I think Guti might have found the new victim in Chapelele, maybe. He's kind of out of the pits.
Yeah, I don't think I'll be broadcasting him anytime soon.
I'm just going to keep an eye on him, make sure he doesn't do anything silly in these last couple of laps.
Yeah, you can go watch your entertainment. I'll keep an eye on the clean driver.
More like behaviour monitoring than entertainment.
So, I mean, the CGT drivers, they just look very shaky tonight.
I don't think all of them have. All of them, they've just been a little bit. They lack confidence a bit, most of them. Just Guti's just showing really just a bit of toxicity, really. that exists in the F1 community.
Yes, now looking at the battles, Ginger, he goes for a really big dive bomb down the inside of Stinson. I
Nico
mean,
has got past Jules down the straight. That's a battle to watch out for, as Jules trying to get the switchback now on Nico. So it's the last lap. Will he send it into turn 4? Overtake mode at the ready. Nico going defensive. It's now or never for Jules. He's gonna have to get the move done now if he wants to take home more points. He's
and
got
now
3 tenths back,
Rowan.
but the understeer through the right and left hander is gonna cost him 7th place basically.
Yeah, Rowan fought back to a 10th position. He just got past Roard, so well done to
And he's
him.
on
But
the hunt
he's
for
on.
Kazisel. He's up the inside into turn 10.
They make a little bit of contact. Kazisel is off the road, and oh, not sure what's happening here. Really, I think he was just letting pass the drivers.
I don't think they've realised that you ghost when you're lapped, and they were deliberately slowing down to try and take more people out. But
As now Rowan, he gets across the finish line to win the Bahrain Grand Prix, and it's another one. Sorry, Stinson. That's another one for IFR. FRL Ginger in second. Rowan, I think he won it on track, but he did have a 3-second time penalty, so that put him down to third. I think that will be removed later on though. Ivan in fourth, Tim in fifth, Devin in sixth, Nico in seventh, Jules in eighth, Rowan, the other one, in ninth, Roard in 10th, Kazisel in 11th, Snipes in 12th, bit unlucky for him, the only IFR driver out the points this race. Miku in 13th, Bjorn in 14th, as the LR driver having a little bit of fun with his teammate Patrick right at the end of the Grand Prix. Chapelele in 16th, the last FRL driver, and then all the CGD drivers rounding off the grid.
drivers in quotation marks.
Now, some of them did try.
Right, yeah, I'll give them to that. They did try. It was just the one individual that's really let the team down, I think.
And now we can see here the IFR driver lifting up his trophy, and well-deserved win here. Another full Dutch podium. They're absolutely dominating this spring event. Second was Ginger and third was Rowan. So yeah, well done to the drivers here tonight, apart from that one individual.
Yeah. Well, thoroughly well done to everyone who's taken part so far. I'm not sure if we're back next week. I think we may have different commentators next week.
Oh, that's what you mean, okay. But
the
event is still here.
Yes, the event will be continuing next week, where the last 2 rounds will be contested to see if the IFR dominance will come to an end.
Yeah, I think there might be a little bit of change in the calendar. Just maybe pick some tracks that IFR isn't as good at.
I don't know, I think they might be good at everything, these guys.
I don't know, maybe they'll just go to a different game. Go to SO Cursa Tri Imola. They might not be prepared for that.
The F1 games next year for F1 2021, because it is on the calendar.
Yeah, but officially next week it is I was about to say England, Silverstone, and Mexico. So two very good Grand Prix in my opinion. Lots of overtaking opportunities.
Well, Silverstone's a lot of fun to drive if you can get the lap right. Same with Mexico. Mexico is just a pain for penalties, really. The only downside.
Yeah, but
limits are a little bit strict, but other than that, good racing and a lot of fun to drive.
Yeah, and we'll be back here hopefully at 7 PM. The racing will be here at 7 PM. Not too sure about the commentators though. And Yeah, do you have anything to say at the end?
Well, I want to say thank you for having me, and thank you to all the drivers who've taken part for putting on a show.
Yeah, I mean, it was commentating here. It was me, Carol Malecki, or else known as Kathleen Minty and VR Liam. Hopefully, you enjoyed the spring event here in
Part
VES.
1.
Yeah, part one. Of course, we're
Don't
going to
forget
be
the
here.
part 1, Minty.
Week two is going to be very interesting, in my opinion, and I'll see you there. Bye.
Hopefully.